Have you ever wondered at the wonder? Have you ever wondered at the wonder? Since the dawn of time, humans have been intrigued, have wondered at the night sky, at the stars, at the planets, and have wanted to know more. Is there anyone out there? What else is going on? Is there more to life than this? But without the gift of a telescope, this is my child's telescope, what we see isn't particularly clear. The reality is once you factor in light pollution, the moonlight, the atmospheric conditions on that evening, the naked eye can only see up to 2,000 stars at any given time. The telescope was created by a guy called Hans Lippenheim. And in his pattern of the telescope, he described its action as that which is far away appears near. In the same way, at first glance, this story of Jesus being born in a manger, it feels a long way away. 2,000 years ago, 2,000 miles away, in a time, in a culture, in a place so different to the one that we're in now. So you can rightly ask, what does this have to do with me today, this Christmas time? Well, the wise men, they observed a star, as we've heard read beautifully in the poem and in the readings this evening. They observed a star rising 800,000 miles away. They recognized it as a sign that something was happening. Something important was taking place. And so with curiosity and a sense of wonder, they began that journey, finding out what it was going to lead them to. The star invited the wise men, and it invites us this Christmas time to step into a realm of possibility, to believe in the extraordinary and the miraculous. Maybe like me this year, you've experienced some tough moments. Maybe there have been some good moments. Maybe there have been some really disappointing, painful, how do I come back from this moments? You know, that gap between how you thought things might happen and work out at the beginning of 2023, but the reality of where you're at today, and you're left feeling confused. Well, Jesus said, the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come so that you will have life in all its fullness. The very heart of Jesus' mission and why he came was so that we would experience life in its fullness. And the true wonder of Christmas is that Jesus has come close so that we can experience the wonder of that life with him. John, in what you would describe as kind of a director's commentary, says that the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. In other words, Jesus has come close so that we can have connection, so that we can have relationship. Not like those naff Christmas films where suddenly love is a little bit easier to grasp hold of, but it's that God not only appears nearer, but that he has come to be with us. Emmanuel. He's here with us. So we don't just read about him, hear about him, sing about him, but we get to go through life knowing that he is with us. Reminds me of a moment when I was in France with some close friends a couple of years ago. And we were minding our own business, and then we suddenly realized there was someone in the lobby of the place that we were in on that afternoon that was famous. All I'm going to say is Strictly Come Dancing. And we started this conversation with this woman and her mother. And as we're having this conversation, very normal conversation of connection and just finding out what we were doing on holiday, that kind of thing, I realized that in the corner of my eye, I could see that actually there was someone reading a magazine with the person that we were speaking to on the cover of the magazine. We were chatting for a good 5-10 minutes. And that whole time that gentleman was reading the magazine with the person that we were speaking to on the front of the magazine and had no idea what was going on in front of him. It struck me. I think that can probably be the case. That actually we sometimes forget that he's present with us. I don't know where you're at in your relationship with Jesus, if you have one at all, but you don't just have to read about him or sing about him, but you can actually have connection and relationship with him. And in his presence, he is the greatest present that we can receive. As we draw closer and closer to the 25th, and probably are beginning, maybe like me, to panic about the fact you haven't actually got any gifts yet, I wonder what it is you want for Christmas. Because if you think about gifts, I think we can categorize them in 3 different camps. Firstly, the gifts that you really don't want, but when you receive them, you're grateful for the receipt. Secondly, the gifts that you really want. And thirdly, the gifts that you really need. A couple of years ago, my lovely in-laws, they bought me a gift that I did not want, but it turned out I really needed it. Now, before I go on to tell you exactly what this was, I just want to kind of caveat this with, don't do this kind of gift giving unless you're really in good relationship and close proximity with the person giving the gift, or vice versa. I was given an intolerance test kit a couple of years ago. It was a gift then, and it's been a gift to me and those around me ever since. I highly recommend it. We don't always know, do we, what is going to be good for us. We think we want something, but actually what we need is different. And you probably agree that some of those gifts that you want, those gifts that we need, we question on a regular basis. But the gift that's on offer this Christmas time is the wonder of his love, the wonder of Jesus' love. And it's not just a gift that's for the 25th of December, but it's a gift for 365 days a year for the rest of your life. What we celebrate at Christmas is that Jesus came, born as a baby, to be our Savior, to pull us out of our striving in our own strength, and to experience the wonder of life with him in all its fullness. I wonder if you've experienced recently that frustrating moment when you're watching your favorite program, a new film, your sports team, and for some reason there isn't clarity on the TV that you were wanting, or the connection just doesn't feel quite right. It feels a bit like it's kind of lost its color. It's lost its speed. I had this the other day. We were watching a rugby game, myself and a friend, and just as that final pass was going through on the 22, everything started buffering. How frustrating. You know what I mean? But when that happens, how good is it though when everything connects, when there's clarity, when the grey turns to colour and the connection is strong. The truth is that life can, if we're honest, feel quite grey at times. It can feel a bit blurry. There's so much around in society that can cause confusion or uncertainty. The wars that are going on right now, the cost of living, the nature of politics in this season. Doubts can form like clouds in our minds, stopping us from moving forward. Headlines and news alerts are overwhelming, and we can become desensitized by the evil that happens in our world. We doom scroll through the day. The monotonous 9 to 5 routines can leave us just experiencing a general dullness and life in grayscale. But he, Jesus, is described as wonderful counselor, knowing that we all need the gift of wisdom. Mighty God, because there'll be days where we will feel weak. Everlasting Father, for the moments we feel unlovable. He comes as the Prince of Peace to put an end to anxiety. And he brings a peace that this world cannot offer. Jesus brings beauty into the ordinary, vibrancy into the mundane, and an oasis of rest, and gives us the courage to keep going when we want to give up. So we can live in wonder. I don't know where you're at in your journey of faith, but whatever you believe about Jesus, let me just say this, you're welcome here at this church. And we want to be on that journey with you as you discover. The interesting thing is, whatever you believe about Jesus, the reality is he has split history. His birth did. It split from BC to AD. This is why for thousands of years, people have not stopped talking about the wonder of this story. The wonder of this story, Jesus starting as an embryo, the one who began the beginning, who was there before the beginning, the one who threw the stars into space, was an embryo, was initially the size of a pea and a blueberry, avocado, a melon. We won't go through all the fruits, but he was in the womb of Mary and then was born in the very first king-size bed, in the mess of a stable in a vulnerable place because there wasn't space for him in the inn, which is the equivalent to a pub. And those same hands that wrapped around Mary and Joseph as a baby, those vulnerable hands were the same vulnerable hands that one day would stretch on the cross so that we would know freedom, so that we would know grace, so that we would know the fullness of life with him. We started with talking about stars, filled with wonder and curiosity. The wise men followed the star, guided by its celestial light. They began an adventure. 800,000 miles. They decided the truth was worth seeking. They decided the truth was worth going on the journey for. The wonder of the star represented to them a beacon of hope, a sign that something extraordinary was happening in their time. And God honored their search. I don't know how many miles away you feel right now from Jesus. Maybe it is as far as 800,000. But if you want to start a journey of discovery, there's something we run here called Alpha. And we're going to invite you to that as you leave this evening. There is no pressure to come. We just want you to know you are welcome. It's an opportunity to discover, to ask life big questions, faith, life, meaning. And our next course is going to start next year, near the end of January. We would love for you to join us. I've personally found, and to the very core of my being, believe that God honors anybody's search. This Christmas, I pray that you would know the journey is worth it, and you can receive the gift of the wonder of his love as you live life.